Hey, this is Paul Delary, and I'm coming at you on April 3rd, 2020, and I wanted to give a message to my business owner clients and all of you business owners out there. So I'm an asset protection lawyer, and what that means is that I primarily protect people from lawsuits, government actions, divorce, bankruptcy, that kind of thing. What's really relevant right now is probably the litigation part, the lawsuit part. Now, let me mention a couple of things about that. Most of the time, the lawsuit trend, or the number of lawsuits, tends to track the economy. So in other words, right now, April 2020, the economy is kind of in a downward trend, obviously, and historically what that means is that there are going to be fewer lawsuits. What you should know is that you should not be getting a false sense of security because of that. What usually happens also is after the recession or the downward economic trajectory trend, the lawsuits start coming up again. And this has happened, I've gone through about 5 recessions in my lifetime, and I've seen it, 3 of those have happened when I was a lawyer, and I've seen it each time. And so what you can expect as a business owner is that you will probably you'll have a higher likelihood of being sued after we start coming out of this financial crisis right now, if that's in 3 months or 4 months, whatever it is. So just historically, you have a greater chance of being sued at that point, because I mean, just think about it. What we had, I think, the worst unemployment statistics in our history just came out recently. 6.6 million unemployment applications in 1 week. And so there are people sitting at home, panicked basically, trying to figure out how they're going to make it economically. And so they're, you know, one of the things is to go after people who have money. And who do a lot of people think have money? You know, the rich people, the business owners. Shoot, there's a large segment of the population that hates business, hates capitalism, because the evil business owners like you have, you know, you had it all handed to you, of course, or that's the view. And so you need to pay because you got life too easy, you got off too easy. So what you want to know, let me teach you 3 things. There are 3 ways typically that that people can run into problems when they're trying to protect themselves from lawsuits. One has to do with if you're trying to, if you use the wrong legal entity, or you just do it wrong, and that's pretty obvious. If you transfer it to your brother and then the brother gets a gambling problem, well, that wasn't a good choice. Or you transfer everything to your wife and then you get a divorce. That didn't work out. Or you use the wrong kind of trust. That's another thing that I see happen quite a bit. Okay, so that's the first thing, just setting it up wrong. Another thing is doing what's called a fraudulent transfer. And I'll talk about that in more detail just in a second. The third thing has to do with commingling assets, mixing personal and business. So you think you have protection because you have your business set up as a corporation, but then a creditor comes along and the court says, well, you were treating the corporation like your own bank account, like your own piggy bank, so we're going to just put it all together and the creditors get everything. Okay, that's the third thing. But let me talk about the fraudulent transfer part right now. So what happens is, the basic rule, if you transfer or sell something with the actual intent of defrauding creditors or hindering creditors, then a court can come back and unwind the transfer. So what I usually see in a situation like this, where the economy is kind of in the skids, is business owners get panicked and they start transferring things to a trust, or to the whoever, setting up a Nevada trust, transferring everything to it, or transferring everything to an LLC or something like that, doing some kind of a panicked quick move that's not thought through very well, and that can be unwound, especially right now. I mean, obviously a lot of businesses have a situation where they have likely creditors. Now, it can be done properly, and what you need to do is to contact an asset protection attorney like me, who can make sure that this is done right. So you wouldn't do your own brain surgery, you wouldn't, well, you might fix your own car, I don't know. That used to be more common when I was a kid, but okay, maybe that wasn't a good example, but yeah, I mean, you know, you're not gonna fly your own airplane if you don't have a license, and there's a lot of things that you leave to trained people, and I would really encourage you all to leave the part about protecting yourself from lawsuits to a trained person, because otherwise it can just go wrong. It's just not going to work. And not only that, not only will it not work, but you could actually be in a worse situation, because you could end up having your assets all made available to creditors, when maybe if you didn't do anything, you may actually be in a better situation right now. And plus, there's a high likelihood you could have to pay the other side's legal fees. So anyway, don't try the do-it-yourself stuff. Sure, you can try to fix the window or the door in your house, go to Home Depot, but when it comes to protecting your business and your livelihood and your life savings, go to someone who knows how to do it, because it's actually a really complicated area. I'll be covering some of the nuances about this area over the coming days and weeks and whatnot, but anyway, I just wanted to get the basic message out. Okay, over and out.